Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. It is Tourism Tuesday and we are pre-recording as we do most of the shows these days, but we're doing it in person. The perk to being able to get out and about is I am sitting in Woodstock at the Virginia Farmhouse. Vicki Ruckman is here with me and we're going to talk about a wine festival. It's like you knew, Vicki, that wine is one of my favorite things. Was it that obvious when I was here talking to you for the radio show a couple of months ago?
Actually, it was obvious when I first talked to you like 3 or 4 years ago.
I know, right? I'm not very good at camouflaging my love of wine. But you are in charge of the marketing for the Shenandoah Valley Wine and Music Festival, and it's in my neck of the woods this year.
Exactly. Actually, I'm in charge of the whole darn thing, which is a little scary.
See, I didn't want to put that out there in front of everybody because then...
I do have a lot of helpers, but I'm the one who gets stuck with ordering things like disposable trash cans.
All of the glorious stuff.
Yes, very important stuff.
So I understand this festival has been happening for a lot of years, and for most of those years it happened at the Frontier Culture Museum, but this year it's happening at the Museum of the Shenandoah Valley. I am so excited that you're coming to my backyard.
We're very excited too. We did it for 11 years down in Stanton. And the Frontier Culture Museum changed their focus several years ago, and it wasn't working out very well for us. And we started looking for other venues, and I've always loved the MSV to the point where I became a member a couple of years ago, and it's taken 2 to 3 years to make this happen.
Well, you don't just move a festival this size with this much going on in a month or even in a year.
Right, and then you've got the pandemic, and that didn't help anything, but we're on track now, and we're all very, very excited about the new venue. Your ticket will include free admission to the exhibits in the building, to the gardens, to the walking trails, which are free anyway.
And what's the date of the festival?
It is Sunday, September 5th, the day before Labor Day. It was the only date available because, of course, back in January, nobody knew whether or not we were even going to be able to do something like this.
And yet here we are. It's from 1 to 7, and I love that it's that weekend because it gives me something to do on that Sunday. Saturday's usually the barbecue, or we have friends over, or we're trying to get stuff done. Monday is I'm just going to enjoy my day off and not do anything. So it fills that gap in between that long weekend.
Yeah, and if you're in the Winchester, Northern Virginia area and you have company staying for the weekend, that's a good place to take them all to get out of the house.
I was going to say it's a nice way to say get out of my house.
We can all do this together. The grounds are quite spacious, so you can bring a lawn chair, bring a blankets. You can spread out. Don't have to be right next to anybody else.
So how many wineries do you have that are going to be participating?
We have 10. This event is put on by the Shenandoah Valley Wine Trail, and you have to be a member of the Wine Trail. And most of the wineries in the valley, the Shenandoah Valley AVA, are members. We have 10 of them. Would you like to know who they are?
Yeah, I was going to say, can you tell me who they are so I can start ticking them off in my head? I've tried that one, tried that one, tried that one.
We have Bluestone, which is out of Bridgewater, Barren Ridge from Fishersville, Cross Keys from outside of Harrisonburg, Bricks and Columns, which is near Massanutten Resort, North Mountain, which is pretty close to Winchester, Cave Ridge, Star in the Valley,
Nice.
from Strasbourg, Valerie Hill from Stevens City, Brede, which is one of our newest members. They do a lot of sparkling wines. And
I have a bottle of theirs. They came and did a radio show, and like most of the better wineries, brought the host a gift.
yes, they're very gracious. They were kind enough to sponsor a visit from myself and Sally, who owns Muse Vineyards, and unfortunately they were not able to get the staff together, and that was one of the problems our wineries are having. They don't have enough staff to staff their tasting rooms or their wineries, and trying to find additional staff to do a festival. So we're really pleased that we got the 10 of them. And also one of our most recent members is Sage Bird Cider Works from Harrisonburg. So we'll actually have a cider.
Now, when I was here the last time, you gave me a little can of wine that I can't remember who it was
That's from Cross Keys.
I took a picture of it because it was delicious. And I thought, I'm never going to remember this, so I took a picture of it. So they're going to be there.
They are going to be there, and hopefully they will have some of those canned wines with them.
That is fantastic. So is it like a traditional wine festival where I get the tasting and I get so many tastings? How does that work?
The way we're going to work it this year is when you check in, you will get a tasting ticket, which will allow you to taste 20 different wines at any of the 10 wineries that are represented. And that will give you the equivalent of about 2.5, 3 glasses of wine.
Nice.
If that's not enough for you, you can buy an additional 10 tastings there on site.
I love that option too.
If all of our wineries bring, say, 4 wines, and we got 10 wineries, you're not going to be able to taste all of them at every wine.
Will they be bringing bottles? Can I buy bottles to take home with me as
bet.
well?
That's the whole point of doing it this way, is to introduce you to the different wineries, some of their wines, and encourage you to find your favorites. You can take bottles home with you. You can take cases home with you. You can also buy a bottle or a glass and sit there and enjoy the music all afternoon.
So tell me about the music. Who's going to be performing?
We have a group from Woodstock called Foundry Street Project. Mm-hmm. They will open at 1 o'clock, and they'll play a country set. Then we have Randy Black and Friends. Randy's known pretty well up and down the valley, and he'll be doing a pop rock set. And then we have a musician from the Charlottesville area who has also spent a lot of time in New York City area. His name is Bruce Ewan, and he will be doing blues and jazz.
So you've got everything covered. You've got your country, you've got your pop, and you've got your blues.
So there's something for everybody, yes.
And it's going to play throughout the day from 1 to 7.
Yeah, there will be music all afternoon.
And again, we go back to the MSV is the perfect venue to be able to do this because it is so outdoorsy and it's beautiful outdoors.
Yeah, well, they've got, 60-some acres? Mm-hmm. The area where the festival will be held will be on the humongous patio right off of the main building. The band will be at the, I don't know which direction that is, off to Caddy Corner at one end, and there's a huge lawn area where people can bring blankets and chairs. They can set up anywhere they want to. The ticket for the festival also includes free admission to the exhibits in the building and to the gardens, which are beautiful.
Yes, and they change. I had Perry on before they did their heritage plant sale. And the gardens are beautiful. And he was telling me how they change. If you've been, even in the last couple of weeks, going back now, it's going to look different because more stuff is in bloom and other things are coming out that weren't here a couple of weeks or a month ago. Let's take a break. When we come back, I know there are also vendors, and that's what I'm all about. I'm all about the crafters and the vendors with the glass of wine in my hand. So let's take a break and come back, and we'll talk about those. Does that work?
That works.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We are at the Virginia Farmhouse in Woodstock pre-recording our conversation today with Vicki Ruckman. She is in charge of the Shenandoah Wine and Music Festival. It is happening on September 5th from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Museum of the Shenandoah Valley. We're going to talk about some of the local artisan craft vendors that you can expect to find there when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a quick money chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Tuesday. As you are listening to the show today, it is Tourism Tuesday, and we are in Woodstock today, pre-recording our conversation. We are chatting with Vicki Ruckman. We're sitting at the Virginia Farmhouse, and we were joking during the break that people probably don't even realize what's that got to do with the Shenandoah Valley Wine and Music Festival. But as the Virginia Farmhouse owner, you are an affiliate member of the Shenandoah Valley Wine Trail, which is the parent organization for this festival. Is that right?
Correct, exactly.
Which kind of makes it nice and probably explains a lot about how you got roped into being the grand poobah of this event.
Yeah, roped in is a good way to put it. It's like nobody else has the time, and I have to admit that all of the wineries are way busier than I am. And the first year I got involved, it was because they didn't have hardly any vendors. And I have a lot of vendors here in the store. And I said, hey, you want me to try and find some for you? And they're like, well, sure.
See, that's how they get you. A little bit in the beginning, and then the next
like,
thing you know.
You did such a good job. You want to do it again next year?
It makes sense, too, because you carry almost all of these wineries that you listed that are going to be there. You have them here.
And that's one of the main reasons for us being a member is they have semi-monthly meetings at a winery. And I get to go. I now know the owners, the winemakers. We get to taste new releases that they've come out with, and it's a great connection for us.
I think you need a new marketing person, Vicki. I think you need somebody to come with you to those things.
We could make that happen.
We're going to talk about that as soon as we're done. Tell me a little bit about the Shenandoah Valley Wine Trail.
Well, when I got started, its legal name is Shenandoah Valley Wine Growers Association. It was started back in 2006, I believe. And the main purpose is to share information. And of course, back then there were only like 8 or 10 wineries in the whole valley.
Yeah.
And you have to be in the Shenandoah Valley American Viticultural Area.
Okay.
Which goes from just north of Winchester all the way south to almost Roanoke.
Okay.
Most of the wineries are located between Winchester and just south of Harrisonburg. In addition to sharing technical information and getting help, a lot of them, they share equipment. Some of the smaller ones especially, they don't have their own bottling equipment. So there's bottling trucks that go around. So they kind of share that. They share information about what's going on in the vineyard. Who's got this kind of pest? How did you handle that situation? But one of the purposes is to educate people about the Shenandoah Valley AVA. We happen to think, and there's a whole bunch of experts now
that agree
who
with
happen
you.
to agree with us that it is the best place on the East Coast to grow grapes because of the dry climate. Mm-hmm. The Shenandoah Valley is the driest area in the state, and maybe the East Coast. I'm not sure about that. I'm not a grape grower, so I don't know the technical stuff.
One of the Tourism Tuesdays that I did with Carrie Hahn, Shenandoah County Edition, we talked to Wendy DeMello at Third Hill Winery at DeMello Vineyards, and we talked to, I believe, Cave Ridge. Is that a father-daughter?
Yes.
That's who we talked to.
Randy and Megan Phillips.
Yes. Both of them talked about the climate here and how it is beyond perfect for growing grapes.
Yep.
And that's why they've managed to be so successful at doing it for so many years.
Yes. So in addition to educating people all over the East Coast about why it's such a great place to grow grapes, that means they make really good wines out of really good grapes. And we're also part of the agritourism. We work very closely with the tourism departments around the state, and it's really become, just in the last 20 years that I've been involved in this industry,
it's become a thing.
Seeing the exponential growth not only of the number of wineries coming on board, but people making whole weekends to come out and visit wineries.
Yeah.
And you mentioned we do have cider. A few years ago, the state pretty much said cider is considered wine.
Oh.
Like if I sell a bottle of cider, I ring it up as a wine sale. rather than beer. So we said, okay, it's enough like wine. We'll
Then
let
you
them be
can,
members.
yes, you can come join us too.
So Sagebird Cider Works opened up a year and a half ago. It's a young couple, and they're really into marketing and doing things and getting out there, and they're a super nice couple. At the last meeting, I sat at the same table with Zach and convinced him that they needed to be there. So I'm really glad they're going to be there. Plus, a couple of our wineries make cider now. Kindred Point does, although
that's right.
they had a staffing problem and couldn't have a presence there, and so does Bluestone.
Oh, I didn't know Bluestone did. Interesting.
Yeah, they started that year and a half ago.
So today we're talking about the Shenandoah Valley Wine and Music Festival. It is happening on September 5th from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Museum of the Shenandoah Valley, first year in this beautiful new location. We talked in the first segment, Vicki, about the 10 different wineries that are going to be there. We talked about the live music that's going to be happening throughout the day. But there are also going to be artisan vendors, crafters at this festival. Tell me a little bit about them.
Yes, we decided that we wanted to have some upscale craft vendors. So they really are artisans, people who make things themselves.
The makers.
The first one who signed up was a friend of mine, and it's called Designs by Kent. He lives out here in Shenandoah County, and he makes gorgeous silver jewelry.
Oh.
Rings and bracelets and necklaces, and he uses some semi-precious stones in some of them. Beautiful work. We also have Traveler's Treasures, who happens to be our next door neighbor here in Woodstock.
Yes, I have to pop in and see Joy. She found out I was coming today and said she had something for me, and could I guess what color it was? So totally going next door to see Joy at Traveler's Treasures when we're done.
You think it's orange?
It might be.
But she's got such an eclectic mix of pottery and all sorts of things that she's picked up in her travels. We have J&W Farms out of Winchester.
I know John and Wendy.
They do fabulous birdseed wreaths and
Their
cider
apple
mustard.
cider mustard is to die for.
Yes, it's delicious. Edinburgh Gap Llamas. Kathy has a llama farm down in Edinburgh, and she's part of a co-op of llama farmers who they all collect the wool from the llamas when they shear them, and they make these beautiful shawls and shoe insoles and socks and other
Llama
things.
wool is very soft.
Yes.
It is
extremely.
crazy how
We
soft
have a
it
shawl
is.
here if you want to go touch it afterwards. Let's see. Shenandoah Second Wind is a wild and crazy guy named Ken Nelson, and he has been doing a fabulous job of promoting this festival. He takes old wood, like some of the ash trees that died from the ash borer a few
Oh, that's
years
right.
ago.
Yeah.
And he also takes other reclaimed wood, and he makes tables and chairs and all sorts of things out of it. Beautiful. Heartsong Hill Designs, who I've not actually met yet, but she is into shell and sea glass jewelry that she collects from her
Nice.
trips to the beach. Mossy Path Copper makes these unbelievable sculptures. Most of them are maybe a foot high, foot wide. She takes copper wire and makes trees out of them
Nuh-uh.
so that you can hang them on the wall. Some of them are 360 and you can put them on
On a
a
table
or whatever.
something.
The Craft Gypsy I met for the first time, and she's really just gotten started. She happens to be friends with Kent, and he suggested that I talk to her. She was here in Woodstock at the Artisan Craft Fair they had back in June, I think. She makes sculptures out of paper mache and all sorts of things. One of the things she had at her booth, which really jumped out at me, was a guitar in all sorts of colors, lots of orange too.
Ah, like her already.
That looked like a real guitar that was made out of paper mache, and so that's very different. And then we have Canine Candy, which makes dog treats,
I'm in.
gourmet dog treats.
Yeah, because, my dogs have gotten kind of spoiled and kind of fancy. So gourmet dog treats are exactly what they need nowadays. We're recording this on Monday. People are listening to it on Tuesday the 10th. If somebody wants to reach out and say, hey, I've got this really cool something that I make, can I also be a vendor? Is it too late for that?
Well, I started working on the site plan, and because we want to have lots of space between each of the vendors, I'm not sure how much more we have, But if you give me a fantastic pitch and you've got something that's very different and very unique, we could probably find a place to fit you in.
I love it. And then there's also going to be food. That's kind of one of the most important things that we totally forgot to even mention in the beginning. We talked about the wine because, that's the most important thing.
Of course.
And then we talked about the music. We've just talked about the vendors. Tell me about the food.
Well, I didn't have anything to do with the food this time, which is probably a good thing because I don't know that many food trucks up in the Winchester area.
Well, the power of committees also means that you don't necessarily have to know everything about everything.
Well, but most of our members are not from the Winchester area. But the museum, which has their Gardens at Night thing during the summer, they do have contacts. So far, and I think they're still working on at least one more, they have the Scrimp Shack.
Yes, they've got delicious food.
That's what I've
They
heard.
have a shrimp po' boy that is to die for.
Three Fires Oven, which has actually started selling their pizzas at a couple of the wineries here in Shenandoah County.
I saw something about them recently on Facebook.
Little Bamboo Truck, which I'm not familiar with, but on their Facebook page it looks like they have Asian.
Yeah, I've not heard of them either.
And then My Buddy's Nuts.
Yay. I know them.
Okay, you tell me about them.
That is Bud Anderson and his wife, and they have these prepackaged nuts, and they're in all of these different flavors. You can get them coated with like sugar and honey and cinnamon, and they are fantastic. You can pick them up at a lot of the local farm markets in and around the area, and every single flavor, every single variety of them are delicious. They used to have a little cafe on the Old Town Winchester Walking Mall, and that's how I met them. They did a radio show for their cafe, and then I said, "Oh, these look cute." She goes, "Oh, we make those." And I'm like, "What?" And so they are fantastic. So that's a good addition. He's a chef.
So he probably will have something other than
It's entirely
seasoned
possible.
nuts.
Yes,
Good.
it is
Okay.
entirely possible. So again, same thing. There might be room for another food
There
truck.
is definitely room because they will put the food trucks in the circle in
Which
front of
makes
the
sense.
building. So there's plenty of room there. And I know the museum was still working on at least, like I say, at least one more. Depending on how many people we get, we want to make sure we have enough food for everybody.
Exactly.
One of the first years we had food trucks, we ran out of food.
Yeah, that's the one thing you don't want to
And
do.
one of them was kind enough to jump in her car and go back to her house or her restaurant and bring some more back.
Nice. So speaking of how many people you have, how do people get tickets? What do they do to get a ticket for this event? Is it online? Do they buy them somewhere?
We're not having physical tickets. We're selling them through an online ticket place called Event B, which is mainly for nonprofits, which we are. This is our major our only fundraiser, and we didn't get one last year, so we're hoping this goes well. You can go to our website, ShenandoahValleyWineTrail.com. Right on the splash page, it will give you a link to go buy the tickets. You can also go to our Facebook page, again, Shenandoah Valley Wine Trail. There is an event there. If you click on the event, it will give you all the information about who's playing when and which wineries are there and that kind of stuff. And it also has a link to the ticket sales. They are $35. If you wait, you can buy them when you get there that day. If you're not sure what you're going to be doing that day, or you want to make sure the weather's going to be good, which it will. We've already got our order
Yes,
in.
it never rains at the MSV. No. Well, it does because that's how the flowers bloom. But it never rains for events at the MSV. How about that? Julie will appreciate my catching that one.
But if you buy them ahead of time online, you will save $5 a ticket. It's only $30.
See, and the buying them online, while saving $5 is awesome, it also gives you the excuse already. Oh, I can't come to your whatever that Sunday. I already have tickets for something else. So the built-in excuse factor is worth the extra $5 you save.
Plus, it will get you into the festival faster.
That's true. You
All
don't
you
have to
gotta do
wait
is get
for
your ID checked, show them your ticket, and off you go.
So wide range of wineries, wide range of artisan crafts that you're going to be able to find, wide range of food vendors. Every kind of music is going to be there. Lots of parking at the MSV. That's
Yes.
probably another one of those things that made you choose them as a location to partner with.
Yeah, and I looked at the parking lot, and yes, it's pretty big, but we get 800 to 1,000 people, which we're kind of expecting. They're not going to hold that many cars, even if there's 2 people or more for each car, and they assured me that they have an area.
They have a satellite parking
Yes,
area.
back out of sight, and they will have parking attendants on site, so if you get there and you don't know what to do, somebody will show you the proper way to go.
Shenandoah Valley Winetrail.com. Go there, get your tickets, get all the details, all of when the music is playing, the list of vendors, all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But get your tickets, get them now, save yourself $5, and I will see you there. How about that?
That sounds good.
And before we wrap up, Vicky's going to give me an allotment of tickets.
Yes.
Phantom tickets is what we're going to call them. So next week, you'll have to listen to Lonnie on the Afternoon Traffic Jam. He's going to give away some of these tickets. The perk I was telling Vicky earlier is when you call and win, however Lonnie comes up with how you're going to win them, you won't even have to come to the station and pick them up. You'll just have to give Lonnie your contact information, and they'll go on a wait list there at the gate, and they don't have to come to the station to pick up their tickets.
Just show up at the festival and enjoy yourself.
That's the best kind of festival to do. Vicki, thank you for taking some time to chat with me about this today.
I enjoyed it.
I will be back tomorrow. It is the Valley Business Today, Luray Page County edition. So we are going to be chatting with Cindy from the Brain Injury Connections of Shenandoah Valley. Meet me back here for that conversation just a few minutes after noon.